What's going on, guys? I'm John,
I'm David.
and we are the Movie Kings, and welcome to our show,
Yes, episode 002.
002,
002.
where today we're going to be talking about Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, this is, not a new movie. It's been out for some time now, but I think it's just one of those movies where we just had to talk about it.
Yeah.
We had to watch it again. It's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. Before we get started, make sure that if you guys are tuning in to hit the subscribe button under the video, and if you're listening, to subscribe to our channels. Check us out on social medias at let's see, JD Movie Kings on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I think I got it right this time.
I think, yeah.
Yeah?
Sounds right.
Okay. We'll say it's right.
JD Movie Kings on Instagram, Facebook, and it's coming soon to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Good deal.
He's in charge of that.
Yeah, I'll be taking that over.
Yeah.
So Mad Max Fury Road. Where do you start with a movie like this?
I don't know. It's do you start with the earlier Mad Maxes, or
I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, this movie, to me, is incredible in so many ways.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the movie yet, and you didn't see it because you thought, man, that looks weird.
It is weird.
It's very weird, especially the first probably 35 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be like, what am I watching? But if you can kind of muster up through that part, especially if you've never seen any of the other Mad Maxes before, you can kind of just get past that weirdness. The story itself is really, really well done.
Oh yeah.
And it just gets better and better as the movie goes on. I really, really like it.
What's so good too is there's so much there's so much attention to detail with the little things in the movie.
Yeah.
Just with with how the cars look, and with like all the like one of the gas pedals is a like a shoe sizer, which I always enjoy seeing that.
My favorite thing about this movie is those details, especially with the cars, because if you can watch this movie probably 3 or 4 times, and every time you watch it, you'll see something different.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the shoe fitting gas pedal, the little skulls, and all the details of the skeletons, and the Citadel logos on the roofs of the cars. They're all custom made.
Right.
It kind of doesn't surprise you to hear how long it took them to make this movie.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Which is pretty interesting. How long? Do you know how long?
I have no idea. I know that they were trying to get it made since like the 90s, but I think they finally got it into kind of like early development in like 2011, 2012 maybe.
Right, and so it took several years, though, much longer than a traditional movie would normally take, for him to actually produce this movie. That's kind of why everybody was like, when is this coming out? Like, what's going on? But you look at the cars. This is what I kind of touched on in episode 001. We talked about Solo and how Disney is, with these new Star Wars movies, they're kind of mixing practical effects and CGI.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great example of that, where they're taking both worlds and combining them.
Uh-huh.
Mad Max would have been a crappy movie if everything would have been CGI, the car crashes, the explosions.
Right.
But a lot of those cars were most of those cars were real.
Mm-hmm.
The cars flipping and tumbling were real. I mean, these cars were being thrown around like rag dolls. The actors themselves even said that they were constantly getting banged around and hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty intense filming.
It's really shocking, like when you see the like the actual footage of what they actually filmed and what's on green screen. It's like, whoa, they really did that. Okay.
Yeah, the war rigs are real. These are, if you look at the war rig, it's actually several cars, bodies welded to each other. Mm-hmm. Rick Rictus's vehicle was a giant monster truck.
Yeah.
I mean, this is awesome stuff. They actually made these, and that to me is one of the reasons. I'm a huge car guy.
Right.
I'm from Detroit, so that kind of stuff's in my blood. So when I see these cars and the sounds of the V8s and all the noises, it just really gets me going. I really love it. So
Right.
just that alone made it entertaining for me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The opening scene where Max is basically gathering up his things, he gets in his car and he turns the engine over, and the camera's right there in front of that engine. You just see the belt turn over and that air suck into the motor and it makes that noise. I mean, that just gets me going.
Yeah.
You do. This is the movie starting. Here we go.
One of the other little details, which I hadn't even noticed before until we watched it today, was in the very beginning. That's what reminded me of it. is the when he eats that lizard. It's got two heads. I had never
Yeah.
noticed it before.
Right? I
Yeah.
watched that movie probably a couple times and it just went right past
Yeah.
me. And I know that like that's the nuances of this movie. You got to remember it's post-apocalyptic world.
Mm-hmm.
There was a nuclear fallout from what we can tell. Obviously, war over oil. Kind of the irony of this movie is that all these guys are driving really awesome cars, and people watch this movie because they love cars, but they all kind of went to war over gasoline and oil,
Right.
and they killed each other, and they're still doing it. But everything's mutated.
Yeah.
Right? And so you have people with growths and weird dysfunctions, and it's just kind of a really interesting apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
I love it. The two-headed lizard was pretty awesome.
Yeah. They're like because we saw it at the theater and we've seen it like a few times at home since then. But
Yep.
this is like the second time. Like we watched it on the projector, and it's the second time I've seen it on like a big kind of a bigger format, and it's like it's so much different watching it that way than on a smaller screen.
Mad Max to me is a movie that probably is really fitted. It's suited for the big screen.
Yeah.
To get the full effect, if you didn't go see it in theaters, it's a bummer for you because it was probably I enjoyed it more in theaters as well. I've watched it on my TV on Blu-ray, and it's good. It's still awesome. You crank up the sound, full blast, blow out your eardrums, but it's not the same as the theater for sure.
Right.
Speaking of theater, this is this movie here, guys. I don't know if you can see that. It's R-rated. So if you haven't seen
Really?
it and you have children, they don't need to watch this movie. Okay, it's not a child movie, which a family at the theater that John and I went to found that out the hard way. I
Yeah.
think this family came in with their kids.
I don't think that they cared though.
Well, they left. Remember?
Did they? I don't
Yeah.
remember them
Well,
leaving.
okay. So I think there was a couple families there because I remember one family. They got there, and in about 10 minutes into the movie, like not even past the opening, this family just gets up and leaves, and they never came back because I think the mother realized, "Oops, wrong movie." Because
What gave it away?
I don't know. Could have been him eating a live lizard with two heads. The dude's all like freaked out. The shots of fat women breastfeeding.
The little person in the wheelchair drinking milk.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
I would love to just like explain all this to someone who has no idea what we're talking about, like who has no idea, like who's never heard of Mad Max.
I would love it if someone is following this and watches this episode and has never saw this movie. They're like, what are
Yeah.
they talking about? And why did they like it? It sounds so weird. So, first off, for me too, you have an awesome cast.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hardy, who's probably the greatest actor of our generation. I'm going to say it now because I'm going to stand by it.
He's always got a mask on though.
He does have a mask on this one. He does well with masks and without masks.
Right.
And then you have the lovely and talented Charlize Theron.
Of course.
Who was awesome.
Charlize.
I always get that wrong. I'm sorry. Charlize Theron.
You're forgiven this time.
She'll forgive me if she ever sees this. But she was fantastic. She plays the Emperor Furiosa. She's actually kind of the main character.
Yeah,
in
that's
this.
the first time that I saw it, I like it was like I enjoyed the movie, but I was a little like there's so much going on, and part of it is like you're kind of expecting him to be the protagonist, and then she's kind of like the main character, and like there's a lot of things that you don't expect. So the first time I saw it, I was like, that was okay, but then like it kind of took a second viewing for me to be like, okay, this is like I get it now. This is
It's different than the originals.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
But yet it's so true to it.
Yeah, it just expands it, I think.
Yeah, it's not your typical kind of like when I watched, the Road Warrior, and everything. It's really so focused heavily on Max. And the story really just surrounds him and everybody he encounters. You don't really develop a relationship with those other characters as much as you do in this one, I think.
Right, yeah.
You really get a sense of who Furiosa is and the Emperor's wives, his slave wives, basically.
Right.
And Morton Joe, he's the bad guy basically in this.
Mm-hmm.
And not want to spoil too much, but yeah, you actually really, even like the B-list characters, you kind of get a chance to kind of enjoy.
Right.
Because they don't kill off Nux right away.
Mm-hmm.
Nux lives on, so you get
Spoiler alert if you're...
Yeah, if you haven't seen this, listen, I'm going to tell you, forewarning, if you watch this show and you haven't seen the movies, you're going to spoil.
Just watch the movies
Just
first,
stop
yeah.
now and go watch the movie and then come back and talk
Yeah.
about this. But that's why I like it, though, because it allows us to really get to know the characters more.
Right.
And you start to enjoy them, and you go, okay, this guy's cool, I like him. Nux ended up being one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's just like, he means so well, and yet he screws everything up.
He's just a dumb kid.
He's just a dumb war boy. He doesn't know any better.
Is it just me, or do all of the white powdered characters look like a bunch of Uncle Festers?
They do.
They do, right?
Like if Uncle Fester had a family, they'd be war boys.
I mean, they've all got like even like little like blackness around their eyes too.
Yeah, they all look like they haven't slept in like 3 years.
Yeah.
They're pasty white.
Mm-hmm.
They're blowing themselves up.
Yeah.
So it all fits, really.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we should probably talk to the director of this movie and see if he stole that from Adam's Family.
That was his inspiration.
Yeah. Oh, my inspiration was actually Festa. I don't think he talks like that.
I don't know what he talks like.
We should, because Mad Max Fury Road won a crap ton of awards,
Yeah.
which was surprising to me. I didn't think it was going to, because it was so bizarre. It's such a bizarre movie, but the movie world in Hollywood went kind of deep with it.
It was kind of crazy because it's the kind of movie that you expect to win like the technical awards, but I was really surprised when it got nominated for like Best Picture and Best Director. But I mean, it's it deserved them for sure. But it's just very surprising to see a movie like that get nominated for.
Yeah, typically you don't see weird sci-fi movies get the nod or even win.
Right.
I mean, Star Wars probably didn't even do as well as Mad Max.
It just depends. Like it's always kind of a rare bird when a fantasy or a sci-fi movie gets nominated for something like that.
But that goes to show you just really how good this movie really is. It's well written. The visuals of this movie are amazing. It's done just so well. I feel like this is what Mad Max probably always wanted to be, but couldn't be until now because of technology and budget reasons and things of that nature. And so to have that ability, it just shows.
Well, the first movie is just so low budget, and it's been about 10 years since I've seen it, but it's just like a completely different kind of thing altogether. But the second one to me is like before this one, it was probably the best one, and I
like the second one.
Yeah, the second one's great.
Yep.
It's like there was more of a budget, so like they could do more things with it, but at the same time, like nowhere near the insane like Gonzo kind of filmmaking that they did with this movie.
Yeah, this one is over the top.
And the third one's just garbage.
I'm gonna admit I have not seen the third one.
It has some good things in it.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I will not take your word for it. You don't like Top Gun, so we can't. I'll have to go watch it.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, it is, and we'll get into that later. So that's my favorite. There's a scene in the end of the movie where these guys are kind of on these large poles. They're swaying around and stuff. And I found out that their inspiration for that was actually Circus Soleil.
Oh, was
they
it?
They were at a show, and they had these acrobats that were kind of standing on these poles and doing all these kind of stunts. And they thought that's pretty cool. They implemented that in the movie. There's a lot of cool knickknacks like that throughout the whole thing. You may have noticed too the opening scene where Max is running. He escapes. He breaks free in that cave, and he's running. It looks like the frame rate sped up, and they did that on purpose because he said he wanted people to feel kind of that anxiousness of almost of being chased, because it kind of gives you this kind of like anxious, really fast paced feeling.
Yeah.
So they sped up the frame rate on purpose to make it look that way. It gives you like this kind of anxious feeling of being chased by a bunch of guys and you could get caught.
They kind of do that a few times in the movie, kind of speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, they do. But that's true. If you watch the second Mad Max, they do it a lot. I think they did that back then because they didn't really have the ability to drive the cars as fast as they really wanted to. Practical effects, so they just sped the frame rate up to make it look like that they were going faster.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But this one they did it differently.
Yeah.
But it pays homage to his old movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is cool. All those little details. I'm pulling up IMDb just so I can see the notes.
Yeah.
George Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He's the director. That's why I keep saying him.
Award winner for Happy Feet.
How do you go from Happy Feet to this?
Well, I don't know, because he went from Mad Max to Babe, and then to Happy Feet, then back to Mad Max. He kind of made the transition.
Look at that resume. Could you imagine taking that resume into somebody and be like, oh, sir, we see here you've done Babe. Okay, that's impressive. Let's wear it. Happy Feet. Oh, good movie. Mad Max. How do you go from that to that to that?
I want to make a pig movie. I want to make an apocalyptic movie.
Yeah, I want to make a movie where everybody's dying. There's blood, there's guts, there's weird stuff going on, and it's just like complete opposite world of Babe.
I'd like to see a mix of those movies.
How would you do that?
You would have Babe in the nuclear apocalypse.
So it's basically Babe running for his life because everybody's trying to eat him.
Yeah.
It's the only food source left.
Yeah.
I can watch that.
Yeah, I watched the crap out of that.
Would Mad Max be in it though? Would Max Rockatansky be in that?
He would be, but it would be Mel Gibson instead of Tom Hardy.
Old Max.
Yeah.
Old crazy Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
He's just, but he ends up losing his mind and starts to try to eat the pig too.
Yep.
Yeah, so this movie is made by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
So there's a plot twist.
It's a very big twist.
But it doesn't make any sense, and it actually ruins the movie. Very well.
Do you think, what do you think the movie would have been like if Mel Gibson had been in it?
Nah, I don't know. The problem is there's no chronological timeline for him in this movie.
Right.
We don't know where he's at. We know he's obviously past 1, 2, and 3. We don't know how long it is, and that's the thing too. Like in the beginning of the movie, it kind of shows he's losing his mind. He's lost a lot of people he couldn't protect. It's taking a toll on him. I think you couldn't do this movie with Mel Gibson.
No.
No, Mel Gibson's too old.
Well, what do you think? Like if, like say they had gotten this movie made like in the '90s, so like when they first started doing it, it would have been a very different movie for one thing.
I think it would have been a really different movie. You wouldn't have had the special effects, but I think it would have worked then probably. But I think you pigeonhole yourself too, because even in Mel Gibson's now much older than he was when he first did Mad Max.
Right.
He's very young. So if he's old in the '90s, then that means you have to keep going from there, or you go backwards.
Right.
And I don't think Miller would want to do that. There are a lot of rumors now too that they're having spin-offs of Furiosa, so she's going to have her own Mad Max. There's a rumor of that, and there's supposed to be a trilogy, so there's supposed to be 2 more Mad Max movies coming out.
I hope so. That would be so good.
As much as I've read up on it, because I was really hoping to, they haven't started production yet.
Oh, really?
The second one.
Yeah.
That I know of. Unless something's changed, I haven't looked up at it recently, but this was about a year ago, I think, I looked into it.
Yeah.
And they said that Tom Hardy's on board, he's supposed to do it, and they're supposed to be making it eventually. So I'm really looking out for that. Fun fact, Immortan Joe was played by Hugh Keys. Hugh Keys Byron. I might be butchering his last name, but he was actually in the other Mad Max.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. I had no idea. It's been so long since I've seen the original movie.
Yep. And so that's pretty cool. That's a great little thing that nobody probably really knew about until after the fact that they saw the movie.
Yeah, I mean his face is covered the whole time in this movie anyway, so you would never know.
Another man that wears masks. There's a lot of masks in this movie. I think that must have been probably cool for him to be able to be in that original one and then see this one. And just probably, if anybody could probably tell the difference in the movie, it's probably him.
Right.
So.
I wish it, like if they'd been bringing people back from the old movies, I wish that they'd brought back the guy who was the glider captain in the second movie.
The helicopter guy.
Yeah.
He was a bizarre character.
Yeah, I love that guy.
I wonder whatever happened to him.
He's been in stuff. He was in Revenge of the Sith.
Was he?
Yeah, for like he's all make-upped up in that movie.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's in that movie.
I did not know that. I would love to have seen his characters pop up in this one. I don't know how they would have fit him in.
Maybe he'll be in the next one.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
Maybe he crashed his helicopter and died, and that's just the end of it for him.
Well, he's in the third movie, but he plays a different character.
Really?
Yeah.
So then so he just played a completely different person, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah. They were making the movie, and they were like, we need someone to play this character, but like I want someone who's kind of like that guy, but let's just get that guy. They just never explain it.
What other movies? It's like Adam Sandler movies where it always has the same cast.
It's like Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider comes in and is like, you can do it.
Rob Schneider in the Mad Max universe.
Rob Schneider, he's a carrot.
Just imagine Rob Schneider all whited up, like Uncle Fester.
Just yelling, you can do it, yeah. Witness! Can we talk about how did you feel about the whole witness thing? The whole like spraying the mouth of chrome.
It confused me greatly the first time I saw it, but the second time it's like, yeah, just roll with it.
Yeah. If you don't know, they kind of worship the V8. Like the car and the engine is like their god. Basically.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
the whole purpose of everything. Right? They kind of worship. Because if you watch, like, I've played the video games and I've kind of looked at the backstories, a lot of fan stuff going on here. The video game too. If you like video games, and you want to play one Mad Max for Xbox. I think it may have come out for PS4. That's a great game.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of
It was
fun.
a lot of fun. You got it for me actually for Christmas a
Yep.
couple years ago. Highly addicting, very true to the series. It's so fun because it kind of throws you in that world, and you get a little bit more information than you would normally get from the movies. But yeah, they basically worship the car. So you watch them like they always kind of like mighty V8.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's the whole thing. So
I had no idea.
yeah, so it's kind of their whole world is they worship the engine and gasoline and all that. So, which is ironic, but yeah. If you haven't checked out the game, check out the video game. It's very very good, and it's a WB game. Yeah,
Okay.
WB I think had some sort of hand in that.
Oh. Yeah, it definitely looked like a lot of fun. I'm not even really a gamer, but I was like, that looks very enjoyable to play.
I'm a huge gamer. I have a gaming addiction.
That's fine.
Not very good anymore. So my parents told me to get a real life, stop playing video games. So I did.
And see what it did. It ruined your skills.
I know. Took me on 9LG, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
You could have been one of those guys in the tournaments, winning all kinds of money.
yeah, like the guy that won $3 million playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Just start a Fortnite addiction.
Can't get into Fortnite.
No,
No,
you're
it's
you're too old.
It's a child's game.
Oh, you just angered a lot of people on the internet now.
Yeah, somebody's gonna get a rage email now saying I'm an idiot. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Fortnite's for pros.
Someone's gonna send you glitter now.
If I get packages from people I don't know, I'm not opening them. I'm just gonna throw them in the trash. So don't send me a package of anything.
What if somebody starts sending you like a finger or something insane like
Someone
a
puts
dead
a
rat?
horse head.
Yeah, exactly.
If you did that over
Take it back about Fortnite.
I wouldn't be surprised. Some of those kids are weird, man. They're crazy. I wouldn't put it
No,
past them.
you're continuing to dig that hole for yourself there. Yeah.
Let's move on while we still have our show. Crying out loud.
Hey, Thor plays Fortnite. That's all I'll say.
He did.
He did.
Oh yeah, and also shout out to Athens Breweries. He drinks Georgia beer.
That's true.
So that's pretty awesome. Because he was drinking a Tropicalia from Creature Comforts, which was pretty awesome.
Yep.
I love that. That was really. I forget that they shoot most of those movies in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, in case y'all don't know, we live very close to Atlanta, and it's fun to be so close to everything that's going on. But it's interesting that the Avengers almost kind of is so kind of secretive.
Yeah.
If you look at things like Stranger Things, some of the other Netflix specials, The Walking Dead is a great example. They're very open about where they're shooting, where you can go, what you can do. You can go see them, like their sites where they shot at.
Right.
But not with the Avengers. You almost didn't even know it was going on.
Well, one thing too is that so much of their stuff is done in the studio here too.
Okay.
So it's it's not like there's like a set that you can go and visit.
There are a lot of studios around here. There's a studio I was driving by quite a bit when I was doing a job for somebody in Fairburn, and I was always wondering, like, golly, what are they shooting in there?
Yeah.
I just wish I could go in there and just walk around and see what was going on. So I don't know what the studio was even called, but
The
it's huge.
the mall that they shot Stranger Things the third season at I went to a few weeks ago when they were breaking things down, and the mall itself there's nobody there, nobody goes to it.
Yeah, that's a fun fact about that mall.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard when I watched this new season of Stranger Things. Again, if you haven't seen Stranger Things, shut off now because we're going to spoil some stuff. But the Russians are in this mall. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like at a secret lab. But what most people don't realize is that mall is owned by Russians, isn't it?
Probably best not to get into that, but
What? Everybody knows it. It's not
you
a
know,
secret.
yeah, I wouldn't mess with the Russians, but
They're going to come break my legs.
yeah, they're gonna break your legs. But
We'll not talk about the mall, okay? That is our business.
But yeah, they like in the mall. They like when I went to check it out. There's like nobody goes to that mall anymore.
No,
But,
it's completely vacant.
it's almost completely empty. But they have the only people there were the fans of the show who would come to kind of check it out. and they couldn't see anything because everything was all blockaded up, and they had a security guard there to kind of keep people from sneaking in.
Probably the most money that mall has ever made in the last decade from that show, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when you see the show, it looks like such an active, hustling, and bustling mall. It's really not like that.
Oh, no.
It's like an apocalyptic building. It's empty.
It's really sad.
Yeah. So I've seen the photos of it for the site shots and stuff, and it's so barren. It's sad. So probably need to just bulldoze it down and build something nicer, but that'll never happen.
They have on the website. It's like there are 9 million people visit this mall every year. It's like no.
9 million people who were lost.
Yeah.
They didn't know where they were going. It's what happened. They're counting the people that show up there to go shopping for the holidays, and then they go, wait a minute, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
And then they have to go. They can just turn around and leave. But the door opened, so the little counter went off. There's 9 million people.
The last time that I went to that mall before I went to check out the set, like there's nothing there. But there's like, I think for a while the Sears was still open, and there were a couple other small places. But I was walking down the hallway, and it's like a ghost town. But there was a little kiosk where it was like a pretzel kiosk, and these kids were in there making pretzels, and it's like, who are you making pretzels for?
Probably just they probably take them if you know most people.
It could be, yeah.
Because nobody is going in there buying those pretzels.
Oh no.
It's fascinating to me that mall has lasted as long as it has, but hey, it served a purpose for that show, which was a great season.
Not really.
I thought it was good. It was really good. Don't get me started.
That's a different episode, but okay.
Is it? Because you just brought it up, and that's gonna frustrate me. Because I'm like, what didn't you like about Stranger Things?
It was a little too cartoonish as compared to the first 2 seasons. There was a certain level of realism in the first 2 seasons, like with the characters. They like the characters all had very realistic relationships, and they're more 3-dimensional. And in the 3rd season, they kind of chuck all that out the window. They kind of change some characters around. There's not really enough of a plot, I think, to carry the season. But
so you're saying you think season 4 was just kind of filler?
Season what?
What season? Season 3? Was it season 3 or
season
4?
3? Yeah.
Season 3 was a filler.
I wouldn't say filler. I think it was just kind of unwarranted. I think they should have worked on it a little bit longer to make something better with it.
I wish it was longer. That was my biggest beef with it. I really hate the fact that it's such a short series, but I think Netflix does that with a lot of its series. The Peaky Blinders is very short.
Yeah.
I think only 6 or 7 episodes of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers me.
Really?
Because, like Amazon releases things in episodes each week. So if you watch certain shows, I don't know if it does it with all the shows, but the shows that I watch on Netflix or on Amazon, they release one each week. Netflix just dumps it on you.
Right.
And so, it's hard not to binge watch these shows because they're so good. And like a lot of Stranger Things, especially season 3, was cliffhangers. So you just wanted to keep watching it.
Right.
Before you know you're done.
Yeah.
You're just like, that was it?
Mm-hmm.
But at least I like the fact that Amazon only gives me one a week.
Yeah.
Because then I have something to watch for the next couple of months. I don't binge it all. But
yeah,
it's too short. I don't know about cartoony, though. I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
Just compare it to the other seasons.
I feel like there was a lot of weird dialogue between the characters, a lot of yelling and just kind of overacting in some ways.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird, especially the whole dynamic between the sheriff. Help me out here. Hopper and the lady.
Joyce,
thank you. Golly, like I just felt like there was just this weird forced dynamic thing going on. They kept yelling at each other, and get really mad. Like they'd have like 10 minutes of them screaming. Yeah. And then they'd come back from it. It was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, none of the characters really seemed to like each other this season.
Yeah, everybody was kind of like moving in their own direction.
Yeah.
So obviously the boys are growing up, everything like that. So I guess I can see it. Not my favorite season, but I thought it was pretty good. I liked it.
It's a no from me.
It's a no for John. Well, we'll get into it more on another one. We'll get some.
We'll do some TV.
Do some TV, watch it, argue about it.
TV Kings.
To it, yeah.
Ah no! Oh no!
Well, we can't edit that out, can we?
We could, but then it would look weird. So it's For those of you listening, I just bumped my elbow into the DVD shelf behind me, which is falling a little bit more every day. It's very sad.
We're gonna get that fixed. We're gonna put some proper shelves in here.
Got to make sure Gumby's safe too.
Oh, not Gumby.
Well, Gumby sounds like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gumby has a weird voice.
I haven't seen Gumby since I was a child.
I don't imagine it would hold up very well.
Gumby was kind of weird though when I was a kid. I always thought it was strange. It was just kind of the way it was shot, the way it was played out was really weird.
Right.
And the blockhead guys kind of freaked me out because they were always coming after Gumby.
They were bad.
I don't know why. I was like, why are these guys coming after Gumby?
Gumby's the enemy.
But Gumby's a nice dude, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the blockhead's problem was.
They're just dicks, man. So, if you do pick up this movie,
Back to Mad
let's
Max.
get back to Mad Max because that was an awful.
Dug a
segue.
few rabbit holes there.
Yeah, we went from all kinds of different places on that.
From Mad Max to the blockheads.
To Mad Max to Gumby, to Stranger Things, to Walking Dead, to things I'm not supposed to talk about on live television about people who own certain places.
Yeah.
Oh well. All in all, I mean, for me, I could probably ramble on for hours about this movie because I just love everything about it. I love the universe that it was set in. Love the idea of all the cars. The car chases were perfectly done. When I first saw this movie, like now I've seen it so many times, I'm good. It was like I didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way?
Not the first time I saw it, but I enjoyed it more the next time I saw it.
You didn't like it at all. You didn't like it. You didn't.
No, I enjoyed it the first time I saw it, but there's so much going on. It was kind of like overload. It was kind of taking it all in, and
Yeah. It is. There's a lot of action in it.
Right.
And it's a lot of in your face. Just keeps going. Never really. There's very few moments where it really calms down. In fact, it kind of starts off kind of going.
right.
And it isn't really towards the part where they meet the many mothers where it kind of finally slows down for a minute and catch your breath. But it's an intense movie. There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. So well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also too, if you do get this Blu-ray disc, there's a crap ton of special features. That's kind of one of the reasons why I learned about the whole acrobatic thing and all the what the actors went through filming it and all that. So, just the fact that Tom Hardy was actually getting thrown around and beat up in these cars. I mean, that to me is awesome.
Yeah.
And kind of testament who he is. He can play so many different roles. This guy, I mean, that's why I think he's kind of underrated as an actor. Do you agree with that?
I mean, he's really like he's in stuff, but he's not in a lot of stuff. So it's
Yeah, that's it. Well, he's done a few. He's done a lot of TV lately. So yeah, if you obviously we know him from his movies. If you haven't seen him in Peaky Blinders, he's fantastic in Peaky Blinders. Just amazing. And he had his own show that came out not long ago too. It was a little weird.
what show?
I'll have to look into it. I can't remember the name of it, but he was good. He acted very well in it. It's a very kind of weird, dark kind of show where it's set in kind of like pre-colonial day Britain, England, and he has like witchcraft.
I remember that
powers.
show. Yeah, I
he's
never
sleeping
saw.
with his sister.
I never saw it.
Yeah,
Was it any
loved
good?
this. It was very good. If you can get past the weirdness of it, it's super weird. Like
As compared to Mad Max.
No. This is much weirder than that. Like this is like I love my sister because he did. He had a huge thing for his sister.
Oh, okay.
He knew witchcraft because he like fell off a ship and landed on some African island where he learned witchcraft from these people.
Uh-huh.
So he plays a super weird dude. I need to look into that because it ended where he was going off to America, and I was like, okay, then maybe they're going to continue, but I haven't seen anything about it since.
Yeah, that's been. Was that last year or the year before too?
I think it was about the year before.
That's what I thought. I thought it had been a while.
Yeah, it was. And I think it was on Netflix?
FX, I think.
FX. Thank you, it was FX.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I'll probably look it up.
The I keep knocking crap over.
No, whatever.
The Tom Hardy movie that I wanted to see and I never got around to it. And I think it was supposed to be okay. Was the movie, and I can't think of what it was called, but Tom Hardy played like dual roles. He played two brothers. It was like identical brothers that he played in the movie.
Oh, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
I don't know what it's called, but
I believe it wasn't Locky. It was. It came right out. I think it came out right after Inception.
Yeah, it was
Legend.
Legend. That's it. Yeah.
Yep, Legend. And the show I was talking about was Taboo.
Yes, that's
And
it.
it was 2017 to 2020. So I think it says 2020. So I think they may have come out with another season.
Oh, okay.
So you got Tom Hardy. For me, I'm a huge fan of his. Love almost. I've never seen anything he's not good in. A lot of people don't realize that he's in a lot of movies before. Like he was in Black Hawk Down.
Oh, was he?
Yep, he was in Black Hawk Down. He was in Inception. Let's see, Dark Knight. Obviously, he plays Bane, which is one of his greatest roles.
Right.
You know, I appreciate who he is. You know, Bane is a tough role to play because Bane has a mask on the entire time. So he actually had to learn from somebody how to act with his eyes. And if you watch him act now, he still does that.
Oh, really?
His facial movements are so prominent. Like he'll like really act well with it. Like his eyes keep doing that. Like I think it's just stuck with him, and I think it's made him a much better actor.
It was a good thing to learn too, because he's still in a lot of masks in his movies.
He starts off this one with a mask. Oh, it's a good thing he went and learned that.
It's like that guy who was the Bond villain who like always has something wrong with his eyes in the movies. You know what I'm talking about?
Which one was that?
It's Mikhail something. He was the guy in Rogue One. He played the guy who designed the Death Star.
Oh yeah.
That guy. What's that guy's name? I can't remember.
You're not talking about Forrest Whitaker though, right?
No, not Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest
No.
Whitaker. You get so upset. You get so crazed out. You get Forrest Whitaker eye.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Did you ever see The Revenant?
I've not seen The Revenant, and I haven't seen Dunkirk, and I want to see those so bad.
The Revenant will blow your mind. He's so good in that movie.
Lawless was one of my favorites of his.
Yeah, I never saw that movie.
We'll watch Lawless. We'll watch Lawless, and we'll talk about Lawless, because Lawless is a good one.
Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf was in Lawless. He plays a pretty good role in that one. It's one of his few good roles. Still plays himself, which is like cracked out. Like he's just so energetic. It's just I don't think Shia LaBeouf has any other mode except going full force. Like I'm gonna go on a fiery rant. I just did 2 lines of cocaine, and here we go.
You know, I saw him in a really good movie the other day, because I'm not really a Shia LaBeouf fan, but I saw this movie. It's the Peanut Butter Falcon. Is what it's called?
Oh, you went and saw that?
Yeah, I went and saw it.
I haven't seen that one yet either.
He's amazing in it.
Really?
Yeah.
This is one of his first films in a while, though.
Yeah.
He's probably calmed down a little bit.
Well, like the part, he's kind of like he's kind of this redneck that's on the run, and he's like he's very like the way he talks is very fast paced, and it's not really like he's playing himself, but it's almost like it's like somebody that you would see like just going to like the gas station. It's like I know this person just from seeing him around,
Right.
but he's really good in the part.
No kidding. It looked good to me. I saw the previews for it, and I was like, that actually looks like it could be a really good movie. I thought maybe we would go watch that together, but apparently not.
Well, we can see it again. I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, we've watched this movie a million times.
That's what number is that for you for watching it?
It's got to be like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I've watched it more times than I probably need to.
I think I've seen it. That was maybe 4 for me, because
It's got to be at least 6.
I remember there was one time I went to your house and you were showing me your new sound system, and we popped it on like just to kind of show it, and then it was like, oh, let's just watch it. It's on. We're already 10 minutes in.
Yeah, we ended up watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I got that sound bar from Bose. That thing was so freaking loud. I can't believe it. It's like this tiny little speaker, and the movie sounds so good. If you have surround sound, crank it up for this one.
That's the kind of movie you need it for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is below your freaking eardrums amazing. So I definitely would say that for sure. If you got basic speakers, find someone who's got a sound system.
Right.
Take it to their house.
And find a big screen.
Big screen. Really big screen.
I wish I could have seen that at like the IMAX or something like that. That would have been incredible.
I don't know if this was shot in IMAX, but either way, it would have been, that would have been good.
It would have been big.
It would have been big. It would have been beautiful.
The I think it was shot in 3D too, because like there are a few things you can tell. It's like, oh
yeah, the very end where the cars kind of finally collide in that cabin. You see the Doof Warrior, who, by the way, if you don't know who the Doof Warrior is, he's the guitarist that is probably the greatest scene in that movie.
Greatest character in the
He's
world.
greatest character. You see the drummer as it comes around. Here's this guy just ripping on the guitar, fire shooting out. It's such a man movie, and his guitar is flying at you, and you can tell it was like, okay. Then here comes the steering wheel with the Scrotus logo on it.
Right.
And the Scrotus logo is the skull with the circle and everything. So sorry. Played the video game, a huge Mad Max.
I was about to say you know all the details.
I do, and what's funny is I've only seen 3 of the Mad Maxes, so it's like you'd think I would know. But that video game, when you play that video game, you learn so much about that world.
Wait, did you watch the first movie?
I watched all 3/4 of it and I shut it off.
Okay, yeah, that was enough. Yeah.
Pretty much. I was like, okay, I've seen it, so I just want to say, yeah, I saw it. That was it. Moving on.
It's not great, is it?
Well, it's low budget. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, and it's old. A lot of old movies don't hold up today, especially if they were low budget movies. They just don't. They don't sit well.
Yeah, I think it just depends, but I mean, like you could definitely tell with that movie that like with the next one, it was like that's what he wanted to do, and he finally got it done.
Well, I mean, at that time he was nobody. You know, I mean, he put his own car in that movie.
Yeah,
so,
he blew it up.
I mean, if you want to talk about going all in with business guys, that is going all in. It's like I'm gonna make this movie, and I'm gonna blow my own car up. Like he was confident that movie was gonna put him somewhere. Thank goodness it did, because otherwise he'd be taking the bus to work.
Do you know this fun fact? When that movie first came out, it was before anybody in America knew who Mel Gibson was, and it got released over here, and it was just a low budget movie from Australia, and the distributor that bought it, they thought that it was too hard to understand people's accents, and so they dubbed the movie. So yeah, when it came out like in the early '80s in America, like it was all dubbed, and
I don't think Australians are that hard to understand.
not really, no.
I will say this, like English accents, like the slang English accents, that is hard to understand. 'Cause sometimes you're like, what in the world did he just say? I can't understand a word he just said.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
it just depends on the person, but
You find that a lot with Peaky Blinders, because I'm super hard on that show right now.
Uh-huh.
I just wrapped up the last season 5 is coming out in October, so I'm really excited about it. But there are so many times there where you just can't understand what they're saying
yeah.
because it's such a thick accent.
You put the subtitles on?
No, I don't, because I don't like subtitles, because I have really bad ADHD, so I'll sit there and read the subtitles and not watch what's going on in the show. I'm like I can't do both. Can't focus. Although the only one thing I will say I can do is kung fu movies.
Oh, really?
Love kung fu movies, because kung fu movies they talk, and then the action happens,
That's true, yeah.
so you don't have to worry about it, because all that matters is the fight scenes. The dialogue isn't really that important.
But the better version is to see it dubbed, because that makes it even more entertaining.
Oh, because the voices don't.
Yeah,
come
yeah.
out.
It's fun.
I hate it. I can't do it. No, I love kung fu movies, so I like to listen to them in their native language with the subtitles at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it. So.
See, I'm used to the old Godzilla movies. I love to see them dubbed. It's so good.
You're a better man than me, man. I could never watch those movies. I just never got into that.
That's
crap.
some people don't like them. I grew up with it.
I watch them now and I'm like, ugh. How did they make a real movie out of this?
See, those aren't. It's not the same either with those, because it's like Godzilla should be a 6-foot guy in a big rubber suit smashing cardboard buildings. And
You didn't like that Godzilla back in what was it, 2000?
What, with Matthew Broderick?
Yeah, Matthew Broderick Godzilla. That's the best Godzilla ever, right?
I didn't see the whole thing.
What you tell me? You shut it off?
I saw bits and pieces on TV. That was enough for me. But
I watched the whole thing. I remember when I was a kid, I liked it because I didn't know any better. And then I became an adult. I watched it again. I was like, man, that doesn't hold up.
that movie had such a great advertising campaign too. And do you remember? I think it was Taco Bell. I think in some of the Taco Bell kits, like the taco kits that you could buy at the store, they came with this little card. It was like it was a 3D card, and you could like move it back and forth, and like Godzilla's foot would stomp on stuff.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about advertisement campaigns for movies being epic back in that time?
Yeah.
Between, I want to say, 98 to 2004. It seemed like any movie that was coming out that had a big title, like, had serious endorsements. The Phantom Menace comes to mind for one.
Oh, yeah.
Too. I mean, holy crap. It was on every Coke machine, every
Pepsi.
Pepsi. Thank you. Pepsi had it all over the place. It was ridiculous. You don't see that much anymore.
Yeah, it's like not to that degree, no.
It's like they toned it down, but now what they're doing too is they're subliminally selling you things in movies and TV shows.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably what they moved to. They're like, you know what, we could be less obvious for this.
That's that like that kind of reminded me of something that kind of happened with the James Bond franchise, with the last Pierce Brosnan movie with Die Another Day. Apparently they had like 26 like advertisers in that movie, and they like it was so many they nicknamed it like Buy Another Day, I think. And so like when they rebooted it with Daniel Craig, they were like, okay, like we need to cut this down, and I think there's like 10 or 12 advertisers like within the movie. But
I remember one being Norelco.
Really?
Because I remember that commercial. It was Norelco's electric razor.
Uh-huh.
I was just becoming of age to shave. And so they said, a woman prefers a man with a clean shave. And it had James Bond, Pierce Brosnan. He was shaving his face.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I want that razor. That advertisement worked on me. I said,
Yeah.
Dad, I want an electric Norelco razor. My dad's like, okay, that's fine. And they weren't expensive. They're like $50 or whatever. I was like, that's what I want.
And then you shaved and you looked nothing like Pierce Brosnan.
No,
It's false
it
advertising.
didn't convert me into Bond at all. I couldn't fight people. Nobody was attacking me, and my life just remained boring. And
But could you surf like Pierce Brosnan through the icy water?
can you imagine being James Bond in real life? This guy knows how to do everything.
I know.
And he always manages to be in the right place at the right time, to do whatever he wants. I wish I had that kind of ability. And no, shaving with a Norelco razor will not help you surf like Pierce Brosnan. And fun fact, not your favorite James Bond.
No.
Who is your favorite? Sean Connery?
Well, like the go-to answer is Sean Connery.
That's what everybody says.
I think he's just like he's the best Bond. Like some of the movies don't hold up all the way, but
I think most of them kind of don't.
it's just a different era of filmmaking. But
His hold up better than the other. Roger Moore. Roger Moore's does not.
Well, Roger Moore just gets campy, but yeah, Sean Connery's like he's the best, and probably Daniel Craig. I think he's really good. But
I used to really like Pierce Brosnan, but I'll tell you what, Daniel Craig, he's my favorite.
oh, he's great. Yeah,
I think he's really good. It's unfortunate. I think they're doing his last one, right?
yeah. This is the last one, but I mean he's getting old, so.
He's getting old Daniel Craig.
But controversially, my third favorite I think is Timothy Dalton. He only made 2. So
I don't think I've seen any of his.
they're very 80s, but they're they're enjoyable.
80s was an interesting time for film.
Yeah.
When I think 80s and early 90s movies, I'm just thinking like, oof, there's a lot of things yet to be desired.
They are what they are.
Nicolas Cage comes to mind when I think of that time period.
Yeah.
Because Nicolas Cage, like The Rock and everything, he's so coked out.
You know, I've never seen all that movie before.
I don't know. Face Off. Have you seen Face Off?
I've never seen Face Off before.
That was a decent one.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch that. We're gonna have a segment probably eventually where we watch some classic flicks and talk about those too. Because there's some good movies there. You gotta filter through some of the crap. But it's there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But you got anything more that you'd like to touch on with this Mad Max movie?
With this Mad Max movie, let me think. I don't think so. Is there really anything that you want to touch up on?
I mean, aside from the fact that I can nerd out on it, and I can talk about all the details and things that I love about it.
Please nerd out to any degree
I mean,
towards the end.
I love the fact that they call their mechanics Black Thumbs. I always thought that was cool.
Did they say that in the movie though? I
Yeah,
don't
Tom
remember.
Hardy asks Nux if he's a Black Thumb. And he goes, oh yeah. He's like, good, take care of the edge. This is another thing too. Tom Hardy has like no lines.
Yeah, I was about to say he says like nothing in this movie. He just grunts
the whole time. He points.
It's kind of like the child in the Road Warrior movie who like says he's just like the whole movie, and then like at the very end it's like, oh, he's the narrator, which is what?
That's weird. How did that happen? I learned English when I was about 13, so I could tell this story.
Yeah.
But that goes to his character still well done. Again, he acts with his body, and he's very good at that.
Right.
But he also wasn't the main character.
Yeah.
You know, Furiosa was.
It's a dual main character.
Yeah, they really
situation.
really paired well with each other. I kind of would like to see more of those two. I
Yeah.
know they want to do a spin-off of Furiosa, and they're saying Max won't be in it, but I was like, dang, I kind of wish they...
Yeah.
Kind of wish... Is it weird that I was like, I'm thinking relationship is booming.
It would be like one of those sequels like that should not happen like from the 80s where it's like, what are you doing here? What are you? Oh, we're gonna be in another movie together.
I feel like that'll be his last Mad Max. It'll be the worst one, and it's going to be where Max and Furiosa would get married.
Oh
and
man.
it's just terrible. Like it doesn't work, you know. So and everybody's just like, why is forced? Why do they do that? But I thought for a minute that maybe they were gonna have some sort of romance there towards the end, but then he just kind of bails. Typical guy, you know,
Right.
talks out on everybody. And I know a lot of people, if they watch episode 1 and they watch this one, they're gonna probably call me out on Sunday, which is that I got frustrated with the social justice warrior stuff from Star Wars, but I didn't get mad about the kind of undertones of Mad Max. But the reason why is because it was tastefully done in Mad Max. It's properly done. Because this is a post-apocalyptic world where there is no order, there's no law, there's just this guy, Morton Joe, who's running everything, and he's a dictator. And typically, in that fashion, people are always going to be oppressed. And being that there is a slim amount of women in this world, of course, he's going to hold on to the ones that have the good best genetics and keep them for himself. So it works out, right? These women are trying to, the whole plot of this movie is Virios is trying to free these women and get to a better place.
Right.
And Max just kind of gets thrown into it.
Right.
Which is usually what happens to Max. He tends to just kind of find his way into these problems. It's like, dude, you need to just go further away so you stop having this happen to you. Then
He's trying to.
Well, then what
He just
would you
keeps
do?
getting caught.
So
He keeps getting caught by Uncle Fester.
I don't think this is the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the same thing as The Last Jedi, where they have to save the race animals and then they leave the damn kids at the as slaves. Does anybody else miss that part?
That's a whole other that's
I'm telling you.
There's too much to get into with that.
There's a huge difference when you force it. It's not part of the plot. The plot of that movie was people trying to save themselves from slavery, essentially. So it's not the same thing. I'm just gonna get that out there now.
Well, we will not pick up like that's just a whole other conversation right there.
What, The Last Jedi?
Yeah, The Last Jedi.
I mean, you want to talk about it?
Not really.
Tell you how much I hate that one. All right. Well, we'll save that for
but you
later.
did change your mind.
I changed my mind because it's still a good movie, but I still royally hate a lot about it. Especially that scene. The casino scene and the racing animal, I don't know what they call those things, but that whole scene just didn't need to happen. It's like, stop it, Star Wars. Stop it, Disney. Stop it. Listen to me now. Cut it out. Enough. So, I'm done.
You're done?
Yep.
Okay.
Talk about something else.
You're hiding behind the microphone there.
Oh.
You're like,
That's why I think it was different. It was part of the plot. It was tastefully done. It was well executed, and it just fit the role really well.
Yeah.
So, and the whole thing with Mad Max is this is a world where everybody's just trying to make it. They're trying to find some way to survive, and for the most part, you have the haves and have-nots. People who maybe got lucky. Morton Joe is one of them. And it's just the way it is. It's kind of real life in a way. If there was an apocalypse and there were survivors, you're going to have those factions like that for sure. Don't know if they're going to have giant V8 monster trucks.
I would love it if we
but
did.
If they did, if I had to pick the apocalypse, it would probably be that one. Just saying. It's better than zombies.
I couldn't imagine planning this movie and like editing this movie and like making your shot list. There's just so much happening in that movie.
Well, you have to think that they probably had a lot of really good footage, and they had to figure out what they wanted to do and piece it together. I mean, that had to have been a huge challenge.
Right, but I mean, like also you have to figure out like think about how many times they cut and how many like little moments get filmed. Like you have to plan all those moments. There's just so much.
Not to mention they had 2 or 3 of almost each car, so you crash one and you got to go back and do. Oh, we didn't get that shot right. Go crash it again. That's nerve wracking.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a huge warehouse where they were building these things, and it took them forever to do it. So you would think in their head like, well, we could just CGI this, we could just computer animate this, but we're not going to do it. We're going to do it the real way. I respect that so much.
Yeah.
There's a scene in Bad Boys 2 where the characters are driving over, they're chasing somebody, and there's a car carrier, and in the drug lords or whoever they're chasing they're trying to get them off their tail, so they start releasing the cars off this car carrier, and they're tumbling through and they're trying to weave in and out. I found out later on that those cars falling off that car carrier were real. That whole scene was real. So they were at speed, cameras, light, action, boom, boom. They're like, we didn't want to animate that. We wanted the cars to just kind of fall off and do whatever they would normally do. So all of that was real. All that was real stunts. And I'm like, that is to me what real movies are all about. That's what we grew up with. You couldn't have done that back when we were kids. You just couldn't have. You had to do it the real way.
Just imagine too, like I think that was like 2003. Like imagine if they had done CGI back then, like how terrible that would look now.
It would probably look like Star Wars Episode 1 or 2,
Right.
where it just looks fake.
Or like the like the same year 2003, the Matrix Reloaded with the traffic chase. I watched that like a couple years ago. Oof, it's bad.
Yeah, the multiple Smiths. That doesn't hold up.
Ew.
When you see the million Smiths all around it. At first, when I first saw that scene, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! Look at these graphics." Now you look at it, and you go, "Ugh, ew, not good.
Good it is not.
Bad you are." Yeah, it was terrible. But that's the beauty of it, though. Like things just don't hold up.
Right.
The technology's getting better. Maybe we can thank Michael Bay for that.
Got to thank him for something, right?
If there's one good thing Michael Bay has done.
Besides explosions.
Explosions. Michael Bay, what would you like to do in a movie? Explosions. More explosions. I want more. But sir, this is a romance. Doesn't matter. Blow them all up.
I would love to see Michael Bay make a romantic comedy.
I want Michael Bay to redo You've Got Mail. Starring Tom Hanks. He's still right. Let's have You've Got Mail 2 starring Tom Hanks. And it's directed by Michael Bay.
First scene, he opens up his email and it triggers a bomb.
Just blows him up. What do we do now? We killed off Tom Hanks.
His pen pal is a terrorist.
Got to him. He's like, oh, I got another email because people were still emailing in 2019. You couldn't do You Got Mail now.
No.
It would have to be like You Got DM'd.
I've never seen that movie before, but how does that connection happen in that movie?
You never saw it?
No, I never saw it.
My wife, my
she loves
beautiful,
it, yeah.
beautiful darling wife Kate made me watch it, and I will say it's a good movie.
How do they get each other's email addresses? Because they don't know each other.
Yeah, how did that happen? I'm trying to. I gotta remember it. But the whole movie, the whole premise of the movie it's clever. It's very well done.
Oh,
Very
yeah,
well
yeah.
written. It's a good movie. But I do not remember. I don't remember how they got it. But the whole hilarity of it all is these two are actually at odds with each other, but now they're also emailing each
Right.
other, and it's weird. I'll have to go back and watch it again because it's been a while since I've seen it. But drop us a comment if you know, and then we'll just go ahead and use your comment. We don't have to watch it again.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
If you're listening to this,
Just go on Wikipedia and figure it out for us.
If you're listening to this and you've seen the movie and you're like, I know what happened, just write it in the comment section on Twitter or Facebook, and then we don't have to watch it again.
Or if Tom Hanks is listening, he could drop us a comment.
Dude, I'm all about. I jokingly say that my wife may watch it, but here's the thing: she knows as well as I do that I do enjoy some chick flicks.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I like my all-time favorite chick flick movie, Steel Magnolias.
Oh, really?
When I was a kid, my sister Desiree made me watch it.
Yeah.
And I love that movie. It's freaking hilarious. Have you seen it?
I've never seen it. No.
You gotta watch it. Oh my gosh, it's freaking funny. So I know I'm gonna get grief for that, but Steel Magnolias is hilarious. La La Land was amazing.
I don't think of that as a chick flick, though.
I think La La Land is a chick flick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a romance.
Yeah,
any
I guess
romance
so.
like that is kind of chick flicky.
Yeah, I guess it's a musical too.
But it was so well done.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Oh my gosh, the ending of that movie, dude! You want to talk about pitting you here? You just watch, and you just go, oh, it makes you so frustrated, and yet at the same time, like, man, I appreciate them not doing the happy ending.
Yeah.
Of the movie. You know.
Well, it is a happy ending though. It's a
It's a
bittersweet.
quasi,
ending.
it's a bitter. That's great. It's a bittersweet happy ending, but it's probably a more realistic ending in real life.
Yeah.
You don't like the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy doesn't necessarily get the girl kind of deal.
Right. Spoiler alert for La La Land.
Look, I'm telling you, if you listen to this show,
You should have seen all the movies by now.
don't just stop it. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
People are gonna just tune off of us because I keep ruining every movie. Look, if you haven't seen La La Land by now, screw you. All right, it's been
Go
out for
bleep
how many
yourself.
years? Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this yet, but still, if you hadn't seen La La Land, if you hadn't seen Mad Max, then you know what? You're a little bit behind the ball. So if I spoil it for you, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's like you're 3 years behind.
Yeah, no kidding.
So.
The movie came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Move on. Like you should have seen it by now. Sorry. Oh, you mean to tell me that Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan they were at odds with each other? I ain't seen that movie, man. Well, no kidding. It's old. You should have seen it by now.
I love that character, by the way.
Who? This guy?
That guy, yeah.
Hey, I ain't seen You Got Mail yet, all right, buddy? I was planning on watching that with my wife.
I've been waiting 20 years to
I've
watch
been
You
waiting
Got
20
Mail.
years, man, before it was socially acceptable for a man of my stature to watch that movie. I like how it's a redneck or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to watch that You Got Mail.
I ain't gonna do it. Mm-mm. No, sorry. I don't want to watch none of that. I'm gonna watch Mad Max.
Well, I think we're about to run out of tapes, so we should probably sign off now.
Well, to sign off, overall, Mad Max, fantastic movie. I look forward to anything they make off of this. It's a great universe. If you don't know much about it, look into it.
Yep.
Don't let your kids watch it.
No.
Don't. Hey, what about you? Final thoughts?
Oh, great movie. Yeah.
Great movie? Awesome.
So, yeah, just if you guys like what you're seeing, make sure that you hit the subscribe button on YouTube. And if you like what you're listening to, if you're on iTunes, just subscribe there. Follow us on social media at JD Movie Kings on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we will see you guys next time. So,
Catch you later.
bye.